Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to another video from T.W White Sons. Taken in part exchange this morning. Here we have a CX-5. It's the Sport Nav Plus petrol automatic, presented in Polymetal grey. Now, we don't get many in Polymetal grey, and I think it is a fabulous colour. Very forgiving, looks very clean, even when it's dirty. And yeah, just a very forgiving colour. Now, as I take you around the car, let me tell you a little bit about it. We sold it new. We've always serviced it. It was last serviced in September here at T.W White Sons, Orpington. If the previous owner is watching this video, thank you very much for such a lovely car, and thank you for cleaning it before you brought it in. It made my valeter very, very happy. So the car was brought in this morning. They picked up their new car. For you curious ones out there, they purchased a CX-60. Very happy with the brand, very happy with the dealership, and we are extremely happy with this car. Now, not only is this a well-equipped Sport Nav Plus, because Sport Nav Plus comes with a lot of equipment, this has also got the safety pack, so it has a 360 camera. Okay, you've got blind spot monitoring, you've got lane departure warning, amongst many other things, which we'll go into more detail when we get in the car. Now, I've had a quick look around the car. I cannot find any obvious imperfections, curbed wheels, dinks, scratches. Previous owner had a scuff plate fitted and used a rubber boot mat. So the carpet mat is superb. Very nice indeed. As I say, we haven't cleaned it. I'd imagine they had it cleaned before they brought it in, but this car will be fully valeted. And it's got these really handy seats that fold flat. Okay, now there is a space for a spare wheel should you require one, and that speaker will live within the spare wheel. So there is room for one should you require one. Most people don't, but I'm not saying that's right or not. I'm a bit of a gambler. I haven't had a flat for years. Touch wood, it won't happen soon. You've got the auto tailgate. Now, if you were to order this car new today, you wouldn't have that because of this worldwide chip shortage, which I almost feel is a conspiracy. Mazda have had to delete some of the spec on their vehicles, as have other manufacturers, and that's something they had to delete. So this has got it. Now, I must also mention, this is one of the... There was a couple of facelifts with the CX-5. Now, it's got the newer key. It's got the larger sat-nav. Now, I believe that's an 8-inch sat-nav. So if you're looking at comparable cars, make sure it's got the new key and the bigger sat-nav. That'll give you an indicator that it's the more upgraded version, and I believe they are badged SKYACTIV-G. Okay, so this was one of the very first. This was registered in July 2020, but this is the first one we've had back, you know, at the end of sort of a PCP agreement that we've had in part exchange. I mean, that facelift only seemed like yesterday, but since COVID, the track of time, I've just completely lost it. But this is, as I say, one of the first off the facelifted cars, the G model cars. There are a few other differences which I'll try to remember when we get in the car. Okay, so let's go into the vehicle so I can warm myself up. It's thawing today, which I'm very happy about because this was like an ice rink yesterday. You've got an 8-way memory seat for the driver. It is also an 8-way adjustable seat for the passenger. Okay, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you've got memory settings, which you can also program your key fobs to remember. So if there's 2 drivers for the vehicle, the driver, if you have your individual keys, your seat setting will be memorised on those keys. So when you approach the car and open the car, the seat will adjust to where you're setting, where you set it. So 2 keys, foot on the brake, and she fires into life. Now I'm going to put this window up. Oh, turn that down. I don't remember that being turned up so high. Now here we go, 23,469 miles. Now let's start down here. So you've got lane departure warning. You've also got lane keep assist, which help keep you in the lane, but we'll come back to that. You've got the traction control. You've got an intelligent engine stop-start system. And because this has got the 360 camera, look at that, because it's got the safety pack, you can, so that's the front, yeah, that's the front, the rear, the sides, okay? So there's absolutely no excuse for not getting into those tight parking spaces. Now let me show you these dynamic lines, look. So now we're on private land, okay, so I'm not breaking the law. Now, let's simulate a car parking space now. Yeah, so there you go. So that's the car parking space. Now, I hope I don't get this wrong, because I will look very silly and get very embarrassed. Do you see how I'm doing that? As I turn the wheel, the yellow lines move, and now I'm set within those lines. There you go, I'm in that parking space. See the view on the left? There you go, I'm now square on. I could have done that a lot better if I didn't have the camera in my hand, but yeah. That comes in really handy, especially if you're, you know, in an area, certainly London, where car parking spaces are few and far between, and you know, you have to be quite ambitious to get into some gaps. Oh, look at this today, look. It looks like we've got a Honda Jazz convention. And another one, so we'll let them pass. Wow. Okay, that was just really bizarre. You've got climate control, air conditioning, you've got heated seats, 3-stage, heated steering wheel, which I'm keeping on. In fact, I'll keep my heated seats on. You've got radar cruise control, so an adaptive cruise control system which will track the vehicle in front. So as it slows down, it will slow you down and then resume back to the speed you set once that car gets out of your way or speeds up. You've got your trip computer here, okay? You can answer, decline a call here. Automatic lights, automatic wipers, and the lights are LED, so they are amazing. The best way I can describe these lights are, I can see more down an unlit road at night than I can in the day. Hopefully that makes sense. And they are adaptive, so they will turn. Because this has got the safety pack, they will turn. They're adaptive lights. They will turn as you turn, and also you've got a high beam control, so you've got the high beam on full. When there's an oncoming car, it will dip the lights, but it will dip the lights. It might not dip them completely. It might only be 50, 75, 25%, just so you've got maximum vision and the oncoming driver doesn't get dazzled by your lights, because we know how annoying that is. You've also got heads-up display, so you don't have to look down for the speed or for any warnings. It's all there in front of you. I have had some people say, oh, I don't like that. You can turn it off. I don't know why you would, but you can adjust it, you can rotate it, you can tilt it. There's all sorts of adjustments. Okay, this has got a 6-speed gearbox, and it's got paddles. That was the other thing. Yeah, they put paddle shifters on this facelift. So you've got paddle shifters, the bigger screen, the new keys, which I know doesn't sound like much, and the new keys. Yeah, so I'm sure there's other things, but I might add that bit to the end of the video, or if you really want to find out, get in touch and I'll look it up. I might have an old brochure. So yeah, paddle shifters. Right, so let's look down here. So I've gone through the heated seats with you. Now this panel is actually different from the earlier cars as well. Okay, 6-speed auto gearbox. Now this is a 6-speed seamless gear with a seamless gear change. Now I know a lot of manufacturers, and Mazda were guilty of this as well, because I don't think it's a great thing. They were putting sort of semi-automatic sort of gearboxes in their cars, which weren't smooth. They'd roll back on hills. You know, they weren't the seamless gear change that people had been accustomed to from driving automatic cars. But this does that. This has a torque converter, so I think it's brilliant. I've never known one go wrong, and you don't roll back on hills, which I think is a really, really good plus point, because that's very disconcerting. You've got electric handbrake with auto hold. You've got this multimedia system here, which controls this multimedia system. So it's the multimedia commander, I think they call it. I call it the human interface. But this is touchscreen when the car is stationary. But I always encourage people, please use this, and then you won't get finger marks on it, and it's a lot safer. So you've got Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Don't worry, even though they're greyed out, as soon as I set my phone up, I have an Android phone, that it will go bright white, and it will all work. So it's not one of those things that are greyed out and you have to upgrade. The car has it, whether you have an Apple phone or an Android phone. Okay, so and that, by the way, in case you don't know, that means you can navigate your smartphone, you know, use many of the apps. So you could use your sat-nav app of choice. You can access Spotify and all bits and pieces like that. Now, the car has DAB radio, which I think is going to be pretty much standard now in cars, because I've got a feeling that, I know that some FM channels have switched off. Aha and Stitcher are apps that I've never used. Okay, then you've got your USBs that live in here. You've got 2 of them. You have 2 USBs in the back as well, just for charging. Ideal for I say for kids, but for any passengers in the back, really, because USB that seems to charge everything these days, including a razor that I have at home. So, and also when you pair up your phone, you've got your Bluetooth, so you can stream bits and pieces. I tend to stream YouTube videos, documentaries that I've fallen asleep watching the previous night. Now, communication. So once your phone is paired up, you can access your phone book, your call lists, etc., etc. It'll also notify you of text messages if you have an Android phone, and give you the option to read it out. The sat-nav's very good. Now look at that traffic, in fact. So you've got, look at that. Now, if you set up a Wi-Fi hotspot from your phone, so if I set up a hotspot and connect this car to the internet, I can also access weather, which is important, and fuel prices, which I think is super important at the moment, because on my 15-mile journey home, I can see fuel £15 per litre cheaper in some garages. So that is a very useful thing to have. So you go find address, you put the postcode in, and off you go. Okay, you must always put a gap in the postcode. Okay, and I never put the house number in or anything like that, and I just navigate to destination. You got some useful points of interest, restaurants, parking, leisure, etc. Like, I've been late for meetings, sometimes in unfamiliar places, and I need to find some parking. So let's have a look, actually. Open parking area. Let's have a look. Open parking area. Oh my god, look, you can Indigo. Okay, look at that. So the closest Indigo parking complex is in Calais. Okay, look, Dunkirk. So very comprehensive, as you can see, and European maps as well. Okay, let's go back. So nav we've covered. Now settings. So remember that heads-up display I spoke about. So you can change the display there, and you can set that. You can set that to your seat. Okay. You can turn the display off. You've got safety here, so you've got distance recognition support system. So that's your radar cruise control. DRSS. Yes, that's your cruise control. So remember I mentioned earlier, it will track the vehicle in front. You've got smart city brake support and smart brake support. So I believe that's the extra thing as well with a safety pack on the newer car, I'm pretty sure. So I'll give you a scenario. You're in stop-start traffic, you're really bored, and so you're looking out the window trying to entertain yourself. Your car's rolling along because you're, as I say, the traffic's moving really, really slowly, but the car in front stops. You don't realise it's stopped. When you get too close to the car will put its brakes on. Okay, so that's providing, there's no driver input, so you're not turning, accelerating, braking. So literally the car thinks you're distracted. Okay, now the great thing about this, even though if it never had to be come into effect, yeah, if that never happened, it's a safety feature that's recognised by insurance companies, therefore it should lower your insurance premium, so something to argue about with insurers. You've got blind spot monitoring, so little lights will light up in the wing mirrors when somebody's overtaking or undertaking you, and should you go to pull out, when that's doing that, it'll also bleep and the lights, so you'll get the lights, okay, if someone is doing that, but if you go to pull out, you'll also get the bleep, which I think is great. Lane keep assist, so you'll feel in the steering, you'll feel like resistance in the steering. You might feel it pulling. You might think, oh, the car's pulling to the left or pulling to the right. No, it's keeping you in the lane, so it will track the lane in front of you and yeah, keep you in that lane. Now, if you let your hands off the steering wheel, and I'm not encouraging you to do this, of course, the car will actually correct you twice, keeping you in lane, and then it'll tell you to hold the steering wheel. Okay. Traffic sign recognition, driver attention alert. So the car will monitor your facial expressions, and should it feel that you are fatigued, it'll come up and tell you to take a break. And it's really spooky because you literally, well, I've been driving along thinking, oh, is it time for a little comfort break at the services? And boom. It's almost like it's reading your mind. Parking sensor indicator and 360 monitor, which we touched on earlier. The car's got the premium Bose sound system. It's amazing. Look, Bose center point, that's really good for classical and opera music, but come and try it out. Now, yes, see, doesn't have a CD player, so that was the other thing that changed on this model. They deleted the CD player. Maybe that's not a plus point for some people. I personally don't own any CDs, so it wouldn't bother me in the slightest. But yes, so this is the first facelifted one that's come back to us. And I say the time lapse just seems like yesterday. Okay, so no CD player, but paddle shifters, new key, and what was the other thing I mentioned? And I've forgotten. Bigger screen on the sat nav. Okay, so yeah, lots of nice settings there. Clock settings, it's GPS synced, you can switch it off. I don't know why you want to do that. You've got some nice door lock settings, walk away lock, so the car will lock itself when you walk away. You can untick that, of course. Device management there. You can change it from Fahrenheit, Celsius, or Celsius to Fahrenheit, miles, kilometers. So all really good stuff. Oh, and also you have a sunroof. Okay. Not that you want to be opening that today, but it's tilt and slide. Is it tilt and slide? Yes, it is. You can see I'm not used to opening a sunroof on these. I forget that they have them sometimes. Right, so we're a Mazda dealer, so it'll come with a Mazda warranty. Now let's have a look here. So this car, July 20. In fact, this car has a warranty with Mazda up till July 2023, but we shall top that up. So you've got like 7 months warranty left. Okay, so we will top that up to give you a full year. So that's a year's Mazda warranty. It's a follow-on from the manufacturers, but as I say, the manufacturer's warranty is up to 24th of July anyhow, but we'll give you another 3 months on top. Should you require an extended warranty, we can provide that as well. Okay, now here we go. Look, 10 miles. At 10 miles, that was when it came off the transporter, had its PDI here at T.W White Sons. Then a year later, just over a year later, it had its first service, and on the 8th of September this year, it had a service at 2265 miles. So about 3,000, just under 3,000 miles ago, the car, just over, sorry, 3,000 miles ago, the car has been serviced. Okay, so this is a really lovely car. So if you want a facelifted car, and as I say, when you are looking at these, do make sure the things I've mentioned that the car has, so you can make a fair comparison. Okay, I know it sounds trivial, but it's always nice to get, you know, get the most you can get, especially when looking at a used car. I think this is a fantastic colour. It is in fantastic condition, it really is, and as I say, we haven't even washed the car. Okay, but we will put it through our workshop, make sure everything is tickety-boo. Anything that requires changing shall be done. Okay, so We got great finance facilities, part exchange facilities, we got delivery facilities, we can do a video walk round. We are really here to help to facilitate your car sale. And we want you to have a seamless, enjoyable experience, and we want to be the one-stop shop. So I know there's a lot of hype about part exchange and getting a best deal and all this, that and the other. You'll get the best deal with a part exchange. Doesn't matter what you have, you'll get the best deal. But please do punch your reg number in and get an idea of what your car's worth and get in touch with us. We want your part exchange, and that'll make life easy for all of us. If you require any further photos, videos, did I have already said this? Please don't hesitate to ask. And should it be outside our regular business hours, don't let that stop you inquiring. Pick up the phone, leave us a voicemail. We get notified. We shall pick it up and come back to you, or drop us an email. Okay. Now, if you've dealt with T.W White Sons before, thank you very much. If you haven't and you want to get an idea of what sort of people you're doing business with, please do check out our reviews. We have a 4.8 Google rating. We're extremely proud of that, and it will give you an idea of what sort of people we are. Okay, so I want to thank you for watching the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I have enjoyed doing it, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you. Bye-bye.